Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another meta guide. So, we are in the Retro Cup today. So, the Retro Cup as well as the Open Great League are going to be the eligible cups for this meta for the season 17 to start the season off. And yeah, the Retro Cup, when it comes to the Retro Cup, the three types that are banned are going to be Dark, Fairy, and Steel. So you can't use those types. You can use the moves. If you happen to have a Fairy move, you could use it, but you cannot use a Fairy type, right? Makes sense. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into the video and see what we got going on for us. So for the S rank, we do have Mantine. So Mantine is actually a really good Pokemon. Generally speaking, it does have to watch out for Lantern, and that's for the most part, that is really it, right? Because not only does Lantern resist every move that Mantine has, but it also has that double super effective Spark attack, which can just farm the Mantine all the way down. Same with Pelipper, so it does have to watch out for that. Next up, we have Octobax. So Dragon types are really going to shine in this meta because Fairy types are banned, which means nothing double resist the Dragon type attacks, and Steel types are banned, so nothing single resist the Dragon type attacks. So Dragons do have to watch out for Ice, which is relevant in this meta, but when it comes to Octobax, it is an Ice type itself, so it's taking neutral damage instead of being weak to it. But even then, you're still doing super effective damage with the Dragon Breath damage or the Dragon Tail, whatever it happens to be. So still looking really good. Dragon types are just so strong in this meta. Next up, we have Lickitung. Lickitung has always been a great safe swap and stands to reason why it will be a great safe swap in this meta. Obviously, you do have Vigoroth and Double, which are going to be pretty common, and the Licks are double resisted, so you do have to watch out for that. Obviously, if you safe swap it and then there's a Vigoroth chilling in the back from your opponent, that's not great, but Lickitung's just a good Pokemon overall. Then we have Aurorus. Aurorus, another really good Ice type, or there's several good Ice types. Aurorus and Frostless probably being the best, but Aurorus with that rock typing, just going to be doing really well as long as it avoids fighting types. Obviously, it doesn't want to see like a Vigoroth, the counter damage, or a Medicham should you see it, but really good. And then we have Dragonair. So kind of talked about dragons already, right? Dragonair, Octobax, just a really strong nothing resisting the dragon type damage. Frostless. Frostless does get Icy Wind. I would still use Avalanche on Frostless and Octobax, to be honest, just because it for the most part it takes the same amount to get to the Icy Wind as it does the Avalanche, and Avalanche does more. Now you do obviously have the chance to debuff your opponent with Icy Wind, or not a chance, it is a guaranteed chance, so it does debuff them, but it doesn't do as much damage, so the Avalanche just does more. On Pokemon that are frail, like Octobax and Frostless, I would probably go Avalanche. The bulkier Pokemon probably benefit from Icy Wind. And then next up we have Vigoroth. As we've already mentioned, Vigoroth is probably the best safe swap, if not one of the best safe swaps in this meta. The Body Slam spam is real, and now that it has Rock Slide, it can hit like the flying types, and it has a better move than Bulldoze, right? Next up we have the A rank. We do have Golbat in the A rank. A really good Pokemon. Yeah, I think this is a really good one. Obviously, it has to watch out for Ice. It is weak to Ice, but most of the flying types suffer from that. Gligar, for example, which we talked about Double, and then Gligar is going to be really weak. Double weak to Ice, so it does have to watch out. Jellicent, I do think could be really good in this meta. It just has to watch out for the normal flying types. I guess we don't have a whole lot. I mean, we have Pidgeot and Rufflet, but other than that, obviously has to watch out for Lickitung. It doesn't like normal types because the Hex is resisted. Although Bubble was buffed, so you could actually go Bubble. So that actually might be the way to go in this meta. Probably go Bubble. So Bubble Surf Shadow Ball, I think, could be really good. We've talked about Pelipper. It suffers the same fate as Mantine if it goes up against Lantern. Talonflame. Talonflame did receive the buff of the century this season, with Incinerate doing that much more damage and also gaining access to Fly. So Talonflame is definitely a Pokemon you will see not only in the Retro Cup but also in the Open Great League. Then we have Lantern. I do think Lantern is going to be really good in this meta. I mean, the Dragon types do resist every move that Lantern has, so it does have that weakness, but still a really good Pokemon. I've actually used this one with success in the Retro Cup this season. For the B rank, we do have Abomasnow. Now, Abomasnow does now get access to Icy Wind. Again, I would still probably go with the Weather Ball spam. Maybe on the non-shadow you can get away with Icy Wind, but I just like that Weather Ball spam, to be honest. And then we have Cresselia. Cresselia is such a tank because Dark types are banned. Doesn't really have to worry about that. I mean, obviously you're still weak to Ghost types. If you're running Grass Knot plus Moonblast, Talonflame is going to do a good job of walling Cresselia. So keep that in mind. Still a really good Pokemon though. Pidgeot. I wish Pidgeot got Fly, to be honest, this season, but it didn't. Kind of surprising, but it didn't get Fly this season. But still, I mean, obviously with the Brave Bird and the Feather Dance and the Wing Attack are really strong Pokemon. I love Pidgeot. I just love Feather Dance, you know. And then we have Altaria, another great Dragon type. Yes, it was nerfed last season. I think it was last season, wasn't it? With Sky Attack. But still really good. You're honestly using it mostly for the Dragon Breath damage. So the only thing about this compared to like Octobax or Dragonair is it is double weak to Ice. So it's going to be worse against Ice types than the other two. But it is bulkier as well. So keep that in mind. Rufflet, if you happen to have access to Rufflet, I do believe it needs to be XL'd, right? Makes sense. Toxapex, and then Whiscash. I love Whiscash now. Love it with the Scald. The Mud Bomb, of course, did receive the buff not too long ago. Scald received the buff this season, and not only that, it is now given to Whiscash as well. So great Pokemon overall. Then we're going to move on to the other options. We do have Cofagrigus as a pretty good ghost type. I do think Cofagrigus, I mean, Dark's banned, so it doesn't have to worry about being walled, right? I mean, I guess there's still Pokemon that are good against it, but for the most part, I think Cofagrigus does actually have some good play this season. Or not this season, but in the Retro Cup in general. And then we have Regirock. Regirock, another really good one. Trevenant, I do think has some pretty good play. I've actually battled a decent amount of Trevenant so far this season, and they've been doing pretty well. Dragonite, another dragon user if you happen to want to use it. I still think the way to go is going to be Dragonair or Octobax, but Dragonite is another option. Same with kommo-o and Dragalge. Dragalge is actually probably pretty good. So Dragalge could be one of those dragons if you want to go instead of, for example, I guess Dragonair. You could go with Dragalge. Skeledirge, another fire type if you want to do something like double fire with Talonflame and Skeledirge. We have Clodsire. Wolverine, another ice type. I think Wolverine's going to be outshined by like Frostlass and Aurorus, but it is an option. Credilli is another option. Credilli received Rock Slide. Was it last season? I want to say it was last season. 2 seasons ago? I think it was last season. Poliwrath, I love what they did with Poliwrath this season. I love that it got Icy Wind, but not only that, I love that I lost my train of thought. So it got Icy Wind, and it also got the buff to Scald. There we go. That's what I meant to say. But I love what they did with Poliwrath this season. So Poliwrath is a really good Pokemon. Then we have Charizard. Charizard could be on the double fire team with Talonflame. Talonflame is I feel like this season is going to outshine Charizard just because of the buffs it received. But Charizard's still an option. But that is going to be the Retro Cup for you. Moving on to the solid team options. The first team is a team I started off 10-0. I think I had like a 12-game win streak with this team or something like that. It's going to be Lantern Double Dragon. So I have Octobax and Dragonair. Of course, Octobax does not have to worry about being weak to Ice because it's not weak to Ice because it's an Ice type, but it is weak to Fighting, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, you just safe swap. Usually I've been safe swapping the Dragonair, but yeah, just safe swap one of them. And then, yeah, I mean, just a really good Pokemon. Double Dragon, even Triple Dragon with Kingdra. I didn't put Kingdra on the list, but Kingdra probably deserves to be on the list. You could go Triple Dragon for sure. And then the next team is going to be, okay, double normal, double, well, not fighting types, but like you have counter on the Vigoroth, and then double has double kick, body slam spam, double body slam spam with Talonflame in the lead. I think that could be a really strong team. The next is going to be double ice with Frostlass and Aurorus. Probably two of the best ice types. I put a dragon in the lead, Dragonair. You could run another dragon. I probably wouldn't go Octobax just because that would be triple ice. I mean, well, you could. You could because Octobax is not weak to fire, and neither is Aurorus. The only one weak to fire would be that Frostlass, right? So you could actually go Octobax. Well, if you go Octobax, you are ABA weak to fighting, so that wouldn't be good for the Vigoroth. So probably not, yeah, that's going to be that team. And then the next team is going to be Cresselia in the lead with Whiscash and Vigoroth. Vigoroth being that amazing safe swap. Love the Rock Slide coverage. Love the Body Slam spam. And Whiscash, I love what they did to it this season, as I mentioned. The next team is going to be Triple Normal with Vigoroth in the lead. Double Flyers as well. So the Flyers in the back not going to be weak to fighting. They are taking neutral damage. Vigoroth obviously is weak to fighting. But yeah, Flyers. I mean, if you don't have the Rufflet, if you want, I don't have Rufflet, right? So if you want to replace it with another flying type, you could go with like a Talonflame. Then it wouldn't be triple normal, which is fine. But you can go with like a Talonflame or a Charizard, something like that. And then the final team is going to be Talonflame in the lead with Lickitung. I think Lickitung makes a pretty good save swap. Again, it just has to watch out for like the normal typings because the Lick is double resisted. And then we do have Gligar. So this is an ABA flying team, right? And I mean, it is going to struggle to water types if you see a water type in the lead. So do keep that in mind. Maybe you go Lickitung in the lead with Talonflame and Gligar in the back, and Gligar could possibly lure out one of those water types. Because if you see Lantern in the lead, Lantern in the lead I guess wouldn't be that bad because you could safe swap the Gligar. Right, because Gligar is not doing bad against Lantern. But either way, that's going to be the Retro Cup for you. Let me know what team you plan on using, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.